Brain health affects everything from how we think and feel to how we move and live independently.
And Dr. Ken Stewart, Assistant Professor of Primary Care at KCU Joplin, is here to share details on how everyday habits like exercise, sleep, and staying socially active can help protect your brain and reduce the risk of cognitive decline. I am certainly at that point in life where I wonder about that. You know, you think, am I showing some signs of cognitive decline, or is it just part of life catching up with you in 2026? In my opinion, you can't get started on this as early, any earlier than now.
Well, you know, that's actually not true, Gary, because really all the decisions that we make in life have effects down at the end of our life. And so, yeah, the changes that we make today are going to have an effect on us as we move forward. One thing that's really important to point out to the viewers is that, you know, cognitive dysfunction has become even more common of a problem and a chronic illness than even cardiovascular disease. So that's kind of where we're moving into when it comes to brain health, brain fitness.
And why do you think that is?
Well, a lot of it is because we're living to an older age. The life expectancy is getting, getting longer, and we're treating a lot of the diseases that used to, take people out earlier. And so now we're living to older ages and stuff. Now, age is going to be a factor involved in some cognitive decline. That's kind of a natural progression. But it doesn't have to be the final answer. You know what I'm saying? 40% of what we do can actually reduce our risk of developing some kind of a cognitive dysfunction. And we're talking about dementia, we're talking about, possibly Alzheimer's disease, and some of the other cognitive dysfunctions that are out there. And so, as we've talked about in previous episodes, really it boils down to exercise. It boils down to good diet. So the Mediterranean diet, where we're taking lots of fresh fruits, lots of fresh vegetables, the healthy fats like the omega-3 fats, and then nuts and things like that are more healthy for our brain, help kind of feed that brain. The other thing that's really important, we talk about exercise, sleep is an incredibly important thing. We really need 7 to 9 hours of sleep to be able to allow that brain to flush out all those toxins and to be able to clean those neurons, which it processes every night when we get that deep sleep. Sometimes the people will ask, they'll say, taking a nap in the afternoon, is that going to help me get that restorative kind of sleep? It won't, because you really need to get into those deep REM sleeps and the deeper sleep that allows for the brain to purge itself of all the toxins that's accumulated for the day. If we don't get good sleep, we're just holding on to the garbage from yesterday and holding on to it for tomorrow.
And a bedtime and everything is important as well, isn't it?
Oh, it is. It is. And, we've detected that a lot of people are having problems with sleep apnea. As we get bigger, that's a risk factor for developing sleep apnea. And so if we're not getting that restorative sleep because we're not getting, our brain is shutting off our ability to breathe, and we're having apnea episodes, that can really have a long-term consequence in developing, brain dysfunction. And so, if you have any questions, if your partner is telling you that you're, pausing when you're breathing in your sleep, you're having these pauses, you should have it checked out by a healthcare provider. Maybe have a sleep study done so you can find out, do I have sleep apnea? If so, they've got things they can do like CPAP machines and things like that.
And those can pretty much virtually change your life. I know a lot of people who are using those CPAP machines.
Absolutely.
And it has changed things entirely. They are happier, they breathe better, they get more oxygen.
Changes their life.
Yeah, really they wake up, they've got more energy, they're clearer thinking, your cognitive function, your ability to make decisions, your ability to drive, your ability to, do things that require your, intact brain. All of those things can be improved by something as simple as getting good sleep. And then you add exercise onto it, you add diet onto it, and boy, you can really reduce your chance of developing cognitive dysfunction.
These are all good pointers and things that we need to start working on today.
Absolutely. Today is, you're never too old to start a good behavior.
Yes. Thanks so much for being here, Doctor.
Of course.
Appreciate it. And head on Living Well, one organization.